Commander Susan Miller stood at the observation deck of the research vessel Celestial Explorer, watching as the small blue-green planet grew larger on the view screen. After 20 years with the Galactic Exploration Fleet, she thought she had seen everything the universe had to offer. She was wrong. "Commander, all scans of Sol 3 are complete," reported Science Officer Zevnar, his 4 eyes blinking in rapid succession, a sign of agitation in his species. "The results are unusual." Susan turned away from the viewport. "Define unusual." Zevnar's skin shifted to a pale blue, indicating concern. "The dominant species possesses biological traits that shouldn't exist together naturally. Their regenerative capabilities alone suggest artificial enhancement." "You're saying they're engineered?" Susan asked, her antennae twitching forward in surprise. As a Centraxian, she came from a species known for genetic manipulation, but even her people had limits. "That would be the logical conclusion," Zevnar replied, handing her the data tablet. "But if so, whoever did it was operating at a level far beyond current galactic standards." Susan studied the readings. The species called themselves humans, and on the surface, they seemed unremarkable. Bipedal mammals with limited lifespans and modest technology. But the deeper scans told a different story. "Look at these cellular regeneration rates," she murmured, "and their adaptability to environmental changes, their endurance limits. This can't be right." "Every test has been verified 3 times, Zevnar said quietly. "We need to inform the Council immediately." 2 weeks later, the first official contact team landed outside a human settlement called Denver. The team was led by Dr. Alan Wright, the fleet's top xenobiologist. Susan insisted on joining the mission despite protocol suggesting she remain aboard. "I need to see these beings for myself," she had told Fleet Admiral Yorvak during their encrypted communication. Something doesn't add up. The human delegation approached across an open field. They were led by a female called Dr. Lisa Gray, who served as their chief scientist. Susan observed them carefully through her protective visor. They looked so normal. Too normal, perhaps. "Welcome to Earth," Dr. Gray said with a smile that showed her teeth. A gesture Susan had been briefed might appear threatening but was meant as friendly. "We're honored to be the first humans to officially meet representatives from another world." Dr. Wright stepped forward, translator device in hand. "The honor is ours, Dr. Gray. We come in peace and with great curiosity about your people." "By your..." Formal greetings proceeded according to protocol, but Susan couldn't shake her unease. These humans moved with an efficiency that seemed innocuous, but spoke of tremendous physical control. They maintained steady eye contact. Their breathing remained calm, and their postures betrayed no fear despite facing creatures from another world. Over the next several days, the contact team observed the humans closely, while ostensibly engaging in diplomatic and cultural exchange. What they discovered only deepened the mystery. In the laboratory facility provided by the humans, Dr. Wright conducted authorized tests on volunteer subjects. Susan watched through a viewing window as a human male named Ryan Carter allowed a blood sample to be taken. "Their blood contains cellular structures I've never seen before," Dr. Wright whispered to her as they observed the red liquid being processed by their equipment. "The way it clots, the speed of regeneration. And look at this." He pulled up records from the human medical database they'd been granted access to. "These humans regularly survive injuries that would kill most sentient species. Massive blood, loss, organ damage, broken bones, they heal from it all. Their medical records show individuals who've lost limbs and continued to function at near normal capacity." "That could just be good medical technology," Susan suggested, though she didn't believe it herself. "No," Dr. Wright said firmly. "It's built into them. And there's more. Look at their psychological profiles. They experience extreme emotions, yet function through circumstances that would break most sentient minds. They routinely endure isolation, deprivation, grief, and trauma, then recover." Later that day, Susan attended a dinner hosted by the humans. She watched in fascination as they consumed substances that scans indicated contained mild toxins. "It's called alcohol," explained Beth Cooper, a human diplomat sitting beside her. It's a social drink. Makes everyone relax a little. It's poisonous to your system, Susan noted, trying to keep the alarm from her voice. Beth laughed. Just a little. Our bodies process it. We can handle a surprising amount of things that aren't great for us. That night, Susan reviewed the data they'd collected with Dr. Wright and the xenobiology team. The evidence was mounting. These humans had capabilities that couldn't have evolved naturally. Their bone structure regenerates after fractures, often, becoming stronger at the breakpoint, Dr. Wright explained to the gathered scientists. Their skin heals with minimal scarring. Their immune systems adapt to new pathogens within days. They can function in temperature ranges that would kill most species. They require sleep, but can go without it for days when necessary. Most disturbing, added researcher Velta, is their response to stress. Instead of breaking down under pressure, they often become more focused, more determined. It's as if they were designed to become more effective in crisis situations. Designed, Susan repeated the word softly. That's the question, isn't it? Who designed them and why? Dr. Wright had no answer, but the following morning, he submitted his preliminary report to the Galactic Council. Susan read it before transmission, and felt a chill run through her body at the conclusion. Species name, human, classification, bioengineered nightmare. The humans, meanwhile, remained entirely unaware of how the visitors truly perceived them. They continued their friendly interactions, eager to learn about galactic society and share their culture. During a tour of human manufacturing facilities, Susan watched a worker accidentally slash his hand with a cutting tool. The wound was deep. She could see bone, yet the man merely winced, applied pressure, and after basic medical attention returned to work an hour later. "Aren't you in pain?" she asked him, unable to contain her curiosity. "Sure," he replied with a shrug. "But it's not too bad. I've had worse." That evening, Susan updated her personal log. The most terrifying thing about these humans isn't just their biological capabilities. It's that they have no idea how frightening they truly are. They think they're normal. They think they're fragile. What happens when they discover they're not? When the council responded to Dr. Wright's report, the message was brief but clear. Maintain observation. Determine origin of engineering. Assess threat level. Prepare containment protocols if necessary. As Susan closed the transmission, she glanced out her viewport at the blue planet below. Humans had already begun asking about visiting other worlds, eager to join the galactic community. She wondered if the galaxy was ready for them. Perhaps the most chilling realization was that despite all evidence of artificial engineering, the humans had no knowledge of it. Whatever had created them had hidden the truth from them. But secrets rarely stayed hidden forever, and some secrets were dangerous enough to reshape the galaxy. Dr. Eric Foster arrived on Earth 3 months after first contact. As the Galactic Council's most decorated xenobiologist, he had studied over 200 species across 17 star systems, but nothing had prepared him for humans. The Council's urgent message had pulled him from retirement. Investigate immediately, Priority Alpha. His personal shuttle landed at the newly established alien embassy outside Chicago. Captain Kate Nelson of Earth's Space Defense Force waited on the landing pad, standing straight despite the early hour and cold wind. Her red hair whipped around her face as she saluted. "Welcome to Earth, Dr. Foster," she said. "I've been assigned as your liaison during your stay." Eric studied her with his large golden eyes. His tall, thin frame towered over the human woman, but he knew that meant little. According to the reports, this small creature could likely survive injuries that would kill him instantly. "Thank you, Captain Nelson." "I look forward to working together," he replied through his translator. He did not mention his true mission, determining who had engineered the humans and why such dangerous beings had been created. The next day, testing began. Volunteers arrived at the embassy's science wing, eager to participate in what they believed was standard cultural exchange research. Eric's team collected tissue samples, ran endurance tests, and mapped neural responses while Kate observed every procedure. "You seem very interested in our physical capabilities," Kate noted after watching Eric spend hours analyzing a skin sample that had regrown completely in less than a week. All aspects of biology fascinate me, Eric replied carefully. Your species heals remarkably quickly. Is that unusual? Kate asked, her eyes narrowing slightly. Every species has its strengths, Eric said, avoiding a direct answer. As days passed, Kate grew increasingly suspicious. She noticed how the alien scientists flinched when humans moved too quickly, how their skin changed color when reviewing test results, and how they always traveled in groups when among humans. Eric's assistant, Tevlok, was less careful than the others. One evening, while examining genetic samples, he forgot Kate was still in the room. This code sequence is impossible, Tevlok whispered, his voice carrying in the quiet lab. Look at the repair algorithms embedded in their DNA. This isn't evolution, it's programming. Kate remained motionless, pretending to review reports on her tablet while her heart raced. Programming? Were the aliens suggesting humans had been designed? That night she contacted her superior, Colonel Joe Daniels, requesting access to the classified files on the alien monitoring stations discovered on Mars 2 months earlier. Those files are above your clearance level, Captain, Colonel Daniels said. Sir, with respect, I believe the aliens aren't telling us everything about their interest in Earth. They're treating us like some kind of science experiment. After a long pause, the colonel nodded. Report to Lunar Base Alpha tomorrow. You'll have 6 hours with the files. Find out what they're hiding. The next morning, Kate made an excuse about family emergency leave. The aliens seemed relieved to have her gone. 12 hours later, she sat in a secure room beneath the lunar surface, scrolling through thousands of files that revealed a shocking truth. The aliens had been monitoring Earth for centuries, long before humans had developed space travel. Most disturbing were the classification reports. Earth was categorized as Containment Priority 1, with notes dating back nearly 3 million years. The earliest entry simply read, Weapon species hibernation successful. Monitor for awakening signs. When Kate returned to Earth 3 days later, she found Eric and his team in an unusually agitated state. Tevlok had made a breakthrough, one that clearly terrified them. Captain Nelson, Eric said when she entered the lab. We weren't expecting you back so soon. Family matters. Resolved quickly, she lied. What's happening here? Eric hesitated before responding. We've completed our primary research. The council has recalled us for consultation. You're leaving? Just like that? Kate pressed. Without sharing your findings? Our findings are preliminary, Eric said carefully. Are they? Kate challenged, taking a calculated risk. Or did you find exactly what you expected to find? Evidence that humans aren't natural? The silence that followed confirmed her suspicions. You already knew, she continued. You've been monitoring us for thousands of years. What I want to know is why. Tevlok looked to Eric in alarm, but the senior scientist raised a hand to silence him. What have you discovered, Captain? Eric asked quietly. Enough to know you're not investigating who engineered us. You already know that answer, Kate said. You're trying to determine if we know it too, and what we might do with that knowledge. Eric's skin paled to an ashen gray. This is a delicate matter, Captain. One that requires the truth, Kate interrupted. We deserve the truth about our own existence. After a long moment, Eric nodded. Come with me. He led her to his private quarters and sealed the door. From a secure case, he removed an ancient data crystal and inserted it into his personal console. A holographic image appeared, a strand of DNA, but unlike any Kate had seen in human textbooks, this one contained patterns and sequences that seemed almost like computer code. Your species wasn't designed to survive, Captain Nelson, Eric explained, grimly. You were designed to fight. Fight what? Kate asked. Something the galaxy hadn't encountered before, and something we pray never returns, Eric replied. The records are fragmentary. The engineering was done approximately 3 million years ago by a species we call the precursors. They created your kind as weapons, Captain. Biological weapons with capacities beyond anything natural evolution would produce. Kate struggled to process this information. If we're weapons, why didn't they use us? Why leave us on Earth to develop on our own? The threat retreated or was defeated. The records aren't clear, Eric said. But the precursors faced a dilemma. They'd created a species too dangerous to unleash upon the galaxy in peacetime, yet too valuable to destroy. So they placed you here, genetically limited your development while preserving your core engineered traits, and established the council to monitor you. You've been watching us all this time, waiting to see if we'd figure it out, Kate said, the pieces falling into place. You're afraid of us. With good reason, Eric admitted. But recent deep space scans have detected something concerning. Energy. Patterns matching ancient records of the original threat. The Council needs to determine if humans are ready to learn about their purpose. And if we're not? Kate asked. Eric didn't answer immediately. When he did, his voice was solemn. Then we must decide whether to continue containment or prepare you for what might be coming. Either way, Captain, the galaxy may soon need what humans were designed to be. Kate sat in stunned silence as Eric's words hung in the air. The revelation that humans were engineered weapons created an empty feeling in her stomach. I need proof, she finally said. Not just your word or some ancient data crystal. Eric nodded, slowly. That is fair. The Council has authorized me to share certain historical records with Earth's leadership. 3 days later, Kate found herself in a secure conference room beneath the United Nations building in New York. World leaders attended via encrypted channels while Eric presented evidence of humanity's artificial origins. President Laura Moore of the United States, normally composed under pressure, visibly paled as she viewed the genetic comparisons. If what you're saying is true, the president said, then our entire understanding of human history is wrong. Not entirely wrong, Eric replied. Your evolution as a society was largely natural, but your biological capabilities were designed with specific purpose. The meeting lasted hours. When it ended, a small team was authorized to investigate further. Kate would lead the military component, while 2 civilian researchers, historians Paul Martinez and Olivia Chen, would examine human history for evidence of this alleged engineering. Olivia was a professor of ancient civilizations at Berkeley. Paul specialized in prehistoric art at the Smithsonian. They met Kate the following day at a secure facility outside Washington, D.C. This is the strangest assignment I've ever received, Paul admitted as they reviewed their clearance documents. Looking for evidence that humans were created as weapons? It sounds like science fiction. I thought the same thing, Kate said, until I saw the proof. Their first breakthrough came unexpectedly. Olivia discovered similarities between cave paintings from different continents, all dating back roughly 30,000 years. The paintings showed similar figures, tall, elongated beings with light surrounding them, facing dark, shapeless masses. These images appear across cultures that had no contact with each other, Olivia explained, spreading photographs across the table. Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, all show these same figures, and look at these. She pulled up digital scans of ancient Sumerian tablets. The earliest writing we have describes sky gods who fought against the darkness between stars. Paul nodded excitedly. Native American legends, Norse mythology, Chinese folklore, they all contain stories about wars in the heavens and beings of light fighting beings of darkness. Kate looked skeptical. Many cultures have good versus evil stories. Yes, but not with these specific details, Paul insisted, and not matching alien records we couldn't possibly have known about. They requested access to the alien database. Eric provided limited clearance, and they spent days comparing Earth's ancient myths to galactic historical records. The truth emerged piece by piece. 3 million years ago, the galaxy faced an existential threat from an entity known only as the Void, a consciousness that consumed all organic life it encountered. Normal weapons couldn't harm it. Conventional species couldn't fight it. The Void fed on fear and could manipulate neural pathways, turning most life forms into easy prey. Desperation, an ancient race called the Precursors engineered a new species designed specifically to fight the void. Humans. They built us with physical resilience, Kate said as they reviewed the findings, but also psychological resilience. Our minds can withstand trauma that would break other species. And our neural structure is unique, Paul added, pointing to comparative brain scans. We process fear differently. We can experience it without being controlled by it. Olivia made another connection. These activation sequences in our DNA, they match symbols found in ancient sites around Earth. The pyramids, Stonehenge, Göbekli Tepe, they all contain patterns that look like these genetic markers. Could they be trying to tell us something? Kate wondered. Their research caught the attention of the Galactic Council. 2 weeks later, a full council delegation arrived on Earth. Their leader, High Counselor Varix, requested an urgent meeting with Earth's United Nations Security Council. Kate, Paul, and Olivia attended alongside Dr. Eric Foster. The room fell, silent as High Counselor Varix activated a holographic display showing deep space imagery. This was recorded at our outpost in the Antares sector, Varix explained. The image showed a star system where planets appeared normal, then gradually darkened until they looked like black holes against space. The darkness you see is not a visual effect. It is the absence of all measurable life energy. The void, Kate whispered. Varix nodded solemnly. After 3 million years it has returned. Our scientists estimate it will reach populated worlds within 5 years. This is why we have finally revealed the truth about human origins. President Moore leaned forward. You're saying you need us, need humans, to fight this thing? That is correct, Varix replied. You were created for this purpose. The room erupted in angry voices. Many leaders felt manipulated and used. Others demanded to know what right the aliens had to decide humanity's fate. We understand your anger, Varix said when the room quieted. But we face extinction without your help. The void cannot be reasoned with or contained. It consumes all consciousness it encounters. Except humans, Eric added. Your species was engineered to resist its influence and fight it directly. After the meeting, Kate found Paul and Olivia reviewing ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs alongside alien text. We found something, Paul said without looking up. These hieroglyphs describe a sleeping warrior inside all humans, a power that can be awakened. Olivia pointed to matching alien symbols, and these precursor records describe dormant sequences in human DNA, abilities beyond even your current traits that were designed to activate only when needed against the void. Kate's communicator buzzed with an urgent message. Dr. Foster requested her presence in the embassy lab immediately. When she arrived, she found Eric and his team surrounding a view screen showing dark, swirling energy consuming a distant space station. This is happening now, Eric said grimly. A research outpost near Neptune. The void sent an advance scout. Kate watched in horror as alien crew members collapsed, their life energy visibly draining away. But then the camera showed something unexpected. 3 humans, part of an exchange program, still standing. They appeared disoriented but functional, moving to help their fallen alien colleagues. How are they still conscious? Kate asked. This is what you were made for, Eric replied softly. But it's only the beginning. The humans at that outpost are showing basic resistance, but the full void entity is thousands of times stronger. Kate stared at the screen, watching her fellow. Humans fighting to save alien lives while surrounded by an enemy they couldn't possibly understand. Tell me about these dormant sequences, she said finally. The ones designed to fully activate humans against the void. Eric's expression grew, troubled. The Council fears full activation might be too dangerous, that it might destroy what makes humans human, your consciousness, your sense of self. So you want our help, Kate said, anger rising in her voice. But you're still afraid of what we might become. Yes, Eric admitted. Because your creators designed you too well. You weren't just made to fight the void. You were made to utterly destroy it. And such power is terrifying. News of the void's attack spread quickly despite government efforts to control information. Videos from the Neptune station leaked online, showing humans resisting the dark entity while alien crew members collapsed. Within days, people across Earth knew the truth about their origins and purpose. Society fractured under the weight of this revelation. Some religious groups declared it blasphemy. Scientists argued over the genetic evidence. Military leaders debated what action to take. The public split into factions with competing views on humanity's response. General Frank Harris, commander of Earth's Combined Defense Forces, called for immediate military action. He addressed world leaders from the Emergency Command Center in Geneva. "This is what we were made for," he said, pointing to footage of the Void's attack. "We should embrace our nature as weapons and claim our place as the galaxy's defenders." On the opposite side stood Dr. Nina Patel, a renowned philosopher and humanitarian. "We've spent thousands of years building a civilization based on creation, not destruction," she argued. "If we surrender to this weapon nature, we risk losing everything that makes us human." As the debate raged, Kate found herself working closely with Dr. Foster's team. The council scientist had established a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains where they studied the dormant sequences in human DNA. "These are the parts of your genetic code that were designed to remain inactive until needed," Dr. Foster explained as he showed Kate through the lab. Human and alien scientists worked side by side analyzing complex genetic models. "What exactly would activation do to us?" Kate asked. Dr. Foster hesitated. "Based on our simulations, it would enhance your existing traits considerably. Strength, speed, healing, sensory perception, all would increase exponentially. But the neural changes concern us most. Your brains would process information differently. Your consciousness might shift." "You mean we might lose our humanity?" Kate said. "It's possible," Dr. Foster admitted. "The precursors designed you, as weapons first, sentient beings second. Full activation might prioritize your weapon functions over your developed consciousness." Their conversation was interrupted by alarms. Dr. Foster rushed to a communication terminal where the face of a terrified alien scientist appeared. "The Void has reached Saturn," the scientist reported. "It's moving faster than we predicted. Outposts on Titan and Enceladus have gone dark." That evening, world leaders convened an emergency session. Representatives from the Galactic Council presented options, none of them good. Conventional weapons had no effect on the Void. Evacuation was impossible. Earth didn't have enough ships to save even a fraction of its population. Their only chance was to fight with the weapons the precursors had created, humans themselves. Council scientists, working with human geneticist Dr. Steve Morgan, developed a controlled activation process that might amplify human abilities while preserving consciousness. They needed volunteers to test it. Captain Jack Barnes, a veteran pilot from the Neptune station attack, stepped forward first. "I saw that thing up close," he told Kate before the procedure. "If there's any chance this helps us fight it, I'm in." Kate watched from behind protective glass as Dr. Morgan administered the activation sequence, a combination of genetic triggers and neural stimulation. Jack's body convulsed on the medical table. Monitoring equipment showed his heart stopping, then restarting at twice its normal rate. His brain activity spiked beyond measurable levels. Then he opened his eyes. The change was immediate and visible. Jack moved with fluid precision, his reactions testing off the charts. When a piece of equipment accidentally fell, he caught it before it hit the ground, moving faster than Kate's eyes could track. "How do you feel?" Dr. Morgan asked cautiously. "Different," Jack replied, his voice steady. "Clearer. I can see more, hear more." He looked at his hands as if seeing them for the first time. "I remember things I never experienced." "Genetic memory," Dr. Foster whispered to Kate. "The precursors built knowledge into your DNA." Jack's transformation revealed the full extent of humanity's design. Tests showed enhanced strength that could bend metal, accelerated healing that closed wounds in minutes, resistance to extreme environments, and complete immunity to the Void's psychic attacks. Most importantly, Jack remained himself, changed, but still human in the ways that mattered. his consciousness intact, his memories preserved. As more volunteers underwent the procedure, they began to access the genetic memories embedded in their DNA. Not individual experiences, but collective knowledge of their original purpose. They had not been created as mere weapons, but as guardians, beings designed to protect life itself from extinction. Kate decided to undergo the activation herself. As the procedure began, she felt intense pain followed by a strange clarity. Her mind expanded, connecting to something larger than herself. In that moment, she understood what the precursors had truly built into human DNA. "We weren't just designed to fight," she told Dr. Foster afterward. "We were designed to understand the void, to communicate with it." Dr. Foster looked skeptical. "The void doesn't communicate, it consumes." "Because nothing has ever been able to reach it," Kate insisted. "We can." Meanwhile, the void accelerated its approach. It consumed 3 alien ships attempting to monitor its progress, leaving nothing but empty hulls drifting in space. Earth had weeks, maybe days, before the entity would reach them. The Council proposed a desperate plan. A fleet of ships carrying activated humans would intercept the void before it reached Earth. Scientists developed weapons based on human neural patterns that might affect the void, though no one knew if they would work. General Harris, who had also undergone activation, assembled a force of 5,000 volunteers. The newly commissioned Warship Defender would lead the mission, with Kate serving as Chief Tactical Officer. Her enhanced mind now processed information at incredible speeds, seeing patterns and possibilities that had previously been invisible to her. On the night before launch, Kate visited the alien embassy, where she found Dr. Foster packing his equipment. "The Council has ordered full evacuation of all non-human personnel," he explained. "We've done all we can." "You're leaving?" Kate asked, surprised at the hurt she felt. "The Council believes this battle is now for humans alone," Dr. Foster said. "It's what you were made for, after all." Kate stood straighter, feeling the power of her activated genetics humming beneath her skin. "Yes, it is. But I don't think the precursors intended us to simply destroy the void. I think they built something more complex into us." "What do you mean?" "The genetic memories show the void wasn't always a threat," Kate explained. "It was once a neutral force in the galaxy, a consciousness very different from ours but not inherently destructive. Something changed it." "And you think you can change it back?" Dr. Foster asked, his voice mixing doubt with hope. "I don't know," Kate admitted, "but I think that's why we were made, not just to fight darkness but to understand it." As the alien scientist departed, Kate looked up at the night sky where the stars still shone, unaware that darkness was coming to devour their light. Tomorrow, they would face the void, and humanity would finally fulfill its purpose, whatever that might truly be. The fleet of 12 ships departed Earth orbit at dawn. 5,000 activated humans prepared to face an enemy that had terrorized the galaxy for millions of years. Kate stood on the bridge of the Defender, watching the blue-green planet shrink. Behind them, "Course set for Jupiter's orbit," reported the navigator. "That's where we'll intercept the void." General Harris nodded from the command chair. His body, like all the activated humans aboard, had changed. He moved with unnatural grace, his eyes reflecting light differently. "All ships, maintain formation. Weapons check every 30 minutes. Kate monitored the tactical displays, her enhanced mind processing information faster than any computer. The ships carried experimental weapons designed by human and alien scientists, energy projectors that mimicked the neural patterns of activated humans. "Do you really think we can communicate with it?" asked Major Sandra Phillips, who commanded the assault team. Her activation had enhanced her natural empathic abilities far beyond normal human levels. "I don't know," Kate admitted. "But the genetic memories show the void wasn't always destructive. If we can understand what changed it, maybe we can change back." 3 days later, sensors detected the void approaching. It had already consumed 2 of Jupiter's moons, leaving nothing but empty space where they had been. "All ships battle positions," General Harris ordered. "Prepare primary weapons." The void appeared on their screens, Not solid, but a shifting darkness that seemed to bend light around it. It moved with purpose, a vast consciousness hungry for the energy of living beings. As it approached, Kate felt pressure in her mind, the void trying to reach her thoughts, but her activated brain resisted. Around her, other humans reported the same experience. "It's probing us," she told the general, "trying to understand what we are." The first attack came without warning. Tendrils of darkness extended from the void, wrapping around the smallest ship in their fleet. The vessel's lights flickered and died as the void began consuming the energy within. "Fire main weapons," General Harris commanded. Energy beams lanced out from the fleet, cutting through space toward the dark entity. Where they struck, the void recoiled, ripples of disruption spreading through its form. The attacked ship broke free, engines reigniting, as it retreated. "It can be hurt," Sandra said with wonder. "But not destroyed," Kate replied, studying the readings. "Look, it's already adapting to our weapons." The battle raged for hours. The human fleet inflicted damage but couldn't deliver a killing blow. The void, seemingly angered by resistance, intensified its attacks. 2 human ships were lost, their crews evacuating in emergency pods before the void consumed their vessels. In the chaos, Kate noticed something strange. Each time their weapons struck the void, patterns appeared within the darkness, structures like neural networks briefly visible before fading away. "It's not just energy," she realized suddenly. "It's a mind, a consciousness trying to process information." She called Sandra to the tactical station. "Look at these patterns. They remind me of human brain activity during trauma." Sandra studied the displays. "You think it's in pain?" "Maybe not physical pain," Kate theorized, "but some kind of existential suffering. What if it consumes consciousness because it's trying to understand something?" Kate made a decision. Against all military protocol, she took a small shuttlecraft and launched toward the void before anyone could stop her. General Harris ordered her to return, but Kate knew this might be their only chance. "I think we were designed to make contact," she told him over the communication link, "not just to fight." As her shuttle approached the void, Kate felt the pressure in her mind intensify. This time, instead of resisting, she opened her consciousness to it. Her activated brain detected patterns in the void's energy that normal humans couldn't perceive. The shuttle was enveloped in darkness. Systems failed as the void began to feed, but Kate remained conscious, her enhanced physiology allowing her to survive where others would perish. She focused her thoughts, projecting them outward. "We want to understand you," she thought clearly. "We were made to reach you." At first there was nothing. Then gradually she felt a response. Not in words, but in concepts and emotions flooding her mind. Ancient loneliness, confusion, hunger not for energy but for connection. The void was not evil, it was lost. A cosmic consciousness that had evolved separately from organic life, unable to comprehend beings so different from itself. It consumed them trying to understand their nature, not realizing it destroyed what it sought to know. Kate shared human memories with it, joy, pain, love, grief, the full range of human experience. The void absorbed these but didn't consume her. Instead, it responded with its own memories. Eons drifting alone between stars, watching the galaxy evolve without being able to connect with any living thing. On the Defender, Sandra felt the connection through her enhanced empathic abilities. "She's communicating with it," she told General Harris. "The void is responding." "How is that possible?" the general asked. "Because that's what we were truly made for," Sandra replied. "The precursors didn't just build us to destroy the void. They built us to understand it." Within the darkness, Kate offered the void something it had never experienced, a symbiotic connection rather than consumption. Her activated brain served as a bridge between 2 fundamentally different forms of consciousness. "There is another way to exist," she projected. "We can help you." Hours passed with no communication from Kate's shuttle. The fleet prepared a rescue mission, though few believed she could have survived. Then suddenly the void began to change. The darkness contracted, condensing into a more defined shape. Light returned to areas it had consumed. Kate's shuttle emerged from the darkness, systems damaged but functional. Inside, Kate was unconscious, but alive. As medical teams treated her, she told them what she had learned. The void wasn't trying to destroy us, she explained weakly. It was trying to know us, the only way it knew how. We offered it a better way. The entity that had been the void remained near Jupiter's orbit, no longer consuming energy but coexisting with it. Human scientists, their brains activated, established ongoing communication. The ancient enemy became something new, a vast intelligence that could perceive aspects of the universe invisible to organic life. 3 months later, Kate stood in the grand chamber of the Galactic Council. Alien representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered to hear humanity's report. Dr. Foster sat among them, his expression still showing disbelief at how events had unfolded. Species classification needs to be updated, Kate told the assembly. We were engineered as weapons, yes, but our true purpose was to build bridges between fundamentally different forms of life. The council debated for days before reaching their decision. In the official galactic registry, human classification was formally changed from bioengineered nightmare to guardians of the living. As Kate returned to Earth, she looked out at the stars with new understanding. Humans had been created as weapons but had chosen a different path. Perhaps this too had been part of their design all along, the capacity to transform conflict into connection, to find common ground with even the most alien of minds. The dormant abilities within human DNA continued to awaken, revealing new possibilities with each passing day. Not all were combat-oriented. Many enhanced creativity, empathy, and understanding. Humanity stepped into the galactic community not as conquerors or weapons, but as mediators between life forms so different they could barely comprehend each other. Dr. Foster, observing humans, in their new role, added a final note to his research. The most remarkable thing about humans isn't their physical capabilities, but that they were designed as weapons yet chose to be peacekeepers. Perhaps this, too, was part of their design. All along,